Hope.
Evil.
Yep.
I keep getting timed out. It might have something to do with our internet. Of course, today I can finally show up. My internet is going buggy on me. Sorry about that, guys. Sure. Cool.
really just continue helping uh, Socrates rebuild firewalls and that kind of stuff, and popping pain pills. No, no, nope, no family. He had to hide so much. Everybody thinks he's dead because of the collapse of Until and all of that. So, nope, he doesn't have anybody. Yep.
What, you want more than just terrorizing? Okay. um, he has made contact with an old love of his from ages ago that algorithm tried to tempt him to help, to gain Cypher's help. But Cypher has touched base with Annie way back from his origin story, just to try to make amends there before taking out Division. I mean, was that my outside voice?
I think we've established a long time ago he wasn't. I'm glad to be back.
Would you like a lozenge? Just, for old time's sake.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Just for spite.
So when I come in, I'm gonna have to kick some booty, some cipher booty.
Catch me if you can. No, I never tried to. I never tried to rebuild Lindsay. There was something that I read somewhere that said you can bring back player character type things, but if you have an NPC style character pass away, then you should just leave it that way. So I did, which just fueled his hatred for the Division, which
Nice.
was perfect.
Come to the dark side.
They have cookies. I've seen them.
I sense much hate in you.
Talking with Socrates, no doubt. Yeah, Ghost was quite the alien mind. She didn't have much in the way of intimate friends in the real world, so Socrates filled that gap for her.
Certainly with Lao Jin, of course. Well, she will just sorrowfully say, uh, I will do what the ancestors have asked. I must do what the ancestors have asked of me, Jin. Please let the others know, and any of my family or friends who ask about me, and let them know that I have moved on to the spirit world to to save my country and um, and make good my oath to the temple and the ancestors. But you should certainly go to the Yangtown Temple and let them know what I am doing, and see if they can help the new champions. Well, the Yangtown, but yes. Yeah, but they definitely do have defenses in the spirit. I mean, some of their defenses were in the spirit realm, which prevented them from being vanished or, found by Doctor Destroyer. I mean, that was why I did the whole restore the spirit realm because their defenses have been so weakened.
He would have been trying to help, even though he doesn't have much of anything. He does have knowledge of the earthly version of the destroyed bots, so he would try to use that to help others fight them.
Even from beyond the grave, he would be calling for takeout.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
It is from. Okay.
No, this is another mission. It's a tough mission, but to him it's another mission, and he doesn't have anybody outside the team that knows who he is. So, um, no, he would have been trying to help the other team members prep, get ready, and get ready to go.
Well, as Victoria, she's going to record a video for her father. It's going to start off just her in frame, Dad, if you're watching this, know that I am gone. My friends and I have discovered how Dr. Destroyer has been able to control and how he's been able to vanish people. From when I'm recording this, in less than 2 days, we'll be venturing into a place that is collectively called the Cyberplane and taking the fight directly to him. While we may be gone, you know there's still much work to do to undo the insanity that is left in the world. Please keep fighting the good fight. You knew I was strong, but the truth is stranger and more surprising than you may imagine. And at that point, in a flash of purple light, Victoria transforms into Liliana. I have a fight to finish. Give my love to Mother. And she stops the video.
Sharp probably, though her father has been in a coma for a long time, Runeforce, and he doesn't even know all the things that Sharp has gotten into. He thinks that she's still in school. I have a feeling ever since her discovery of her ability, her decay ability, and the trauma that came with that, she has been, and since she found out Runeforce was in a coma, she's been visiting him and talking to him daily, keeping him updated, though she doesn't even know if he can retain or understand anything she's saying. But basically, the whole scene of her laying at his little bedside saying, "I understand if you don't hear me or if you're not reciprocating any of this, but I just want you to know that I'm doing this in your name. I'm doing this following your footsteps, and I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for what you've done." Cause she's found out about Runeforce and things like that since then. I mean, she's obviously had to see him on this bed, but I'm assuming she probably left him maybe like a note or something, like a letter. Um, Nothing as meaningful as Liliana's, but she probably got the idea from Lily. um, but just something to where, like, as a failsafe, if he wakes up from the coma and he's like, "Where the heck is my daughter?" He knows that she found out and that she's here and she is doing everything she can to help his team, along with uh, testing out her new abilities and using them for the benefit of others. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Sharp with the most just like stunned but happiness, but it's also bittersweet knowing, of course, I'm going into this right after my father's come back to me. Uh, it's just happy to share that yes, it is true. We were going to fix this. I think Sharp is just overwhelmed with so many emotions that she probably just nods and like takes his hand or something. Now it is covered. She doesn't just openly touch him. No, can't risk that. We've learned already.
I don't think the hotshot has spent much time by anyone's bedside. I think she's been getting ready to put people into the hospital. But narratively speaking, I've been very happy with this character and its development. I was tough on the hotshot. There was really not much that I gave her, and very little. Everything that she has was earned. Kind of a blue collar style character, which I enjoy. Um, and obviously, a couple days ago, I launched the letter that she wrote to her family, and that it was given to Socrates to send off. So she's definitely tied up her loose ends and is ready to go. So yeah, and big thanks to Jason and Sean for season 2. So thanks, guys.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I want to read the letter. I'm already like choking up from all y'all.
Sorry about that, guys. I kind of did this thing. Eh, it, say over the last month, um, she's been busy finalizing certain projects that she set in motion from the beginning. Uh, Upgrading the phones, taking that old warehouse that first one. You remember the first one yeah. Remember she bought that. She's finished up turning that whole block into a community center for the area. Uh, mhm. She's also set up a independent um, newspaper in the city. And she's also spent her influence on buying its protection. Political authority, police, the whole thing, including underground protection, just to make sure the people who work there don't end up dead. Uh, the, huh? The last, yeah. I missed some of it, but yeah, I'm pretty much up to speed. Yeah. I just want to set up what was going on in you know, those past months. Uh, that last few hours, she would be sitting in that office she first showed up in, once again staring out that window as that large assistant of hers walks in. She will turn. She says nothing to him as she walks over. On his face is stoic, unless you know him well enough, then you know it's more of a feeling of resignment and sorrow. She hands him a manila envelope, says, "This is the last of them. Are you prepared?" He just nods. "Good. I leave her in your hands. I've trusted you these many decades, and I know you would do well with this I have built and the daughter I have loved." He nods once more. "I never thought I would return to the spirit world so soon. I don't feel like I'm done yet, but I know that place better than most of them, and I cannot shirk this duty." She walks over to him, lays a hand on his shoulder. "Vidu, you are the closest thing I've ever had to a friend, spirit, animal, or human. Take care, not just of her, but of yourself." She embraces him for the first time, for those who don't know. As she turns to leave, he says one word. No, it's not one word, sorry. He says one sentence. "I will be waiting for you." And that's it.
After the long speech, Stevie rolls over to her, and an unforeseen compartment opens up, and a lozenge rolls out just for her.
So many levels of bite me. So many levels of bite me.
Operations in case he fails. So he would be setting up a timered lock of the data that he's collected and the code for his supersuit that would be in the base, but wouldn't unlock until maybe a year from now. And then if somebody discovered the base, they would be able to access the code and possibly use it for good. Yeah,
Socrates.
Cybercrab
I do.
will tell Socrates that he wishes Socrates could join them in this fight. Thanks him for all he's done in bringing the group together.
You have done a good job, Socrates. Continue to do so while we are gone.
It has been my honor to be a part of the new champions. You have all, each and every one of you, made me quite proud. I wish you the best of luck. I fear you will need it,
So
but
Very nice.
I can't bring my character out. Okay.
So, Jason, may I
Unfortunately,
interject? Okay, so as you begin entering the cyberplane, you catch a glimpse of what was perhaps once Socrates' dream. He went to a member or two of the new champions squad and questioned them about dreaming and such. This is what he saw. There was a park, trees, birds, a fountain. There's a large building in the background, perhaps a museum or civil building with several tall columns and a decorative fresco on the facade. There are two men sitting across from each other at a stone table with an embossed matrix of squares etched upon it. Both men examine the table and each other. It is unclear how long they have been there, but the pieces are all in their starting places. The white player wears a helmet, crowned, and it hides his features and his face. But his deep, raspy voice betrays a very mature male of German descent. He reaches across and picks up the Black Queen.
I do so enjoy our time together,
He says with a hint of sincerity in his voice. He hefts the Black Queen in one gloved hand, tossing it lightly into the air. The other, watching his queen being tossed about mockingly, responds rather warmly with a somewhat overly educated English accent.
Alas, who could ever challenge you if I were not here? Your attempt at intimidating has failed. Place my queen back on the board and let's begin. Your move first, Zerstoiten.
Please, you either name you like Zerstoiten or Destroyer. Use either one. But I have earned my honorific.
With all the pieces back in place, the white player makes the opening move and presses the button on the clock. Black moves and presses the clock.
No, you are no doctor.
White moves again and punches the clock.
Make no mistake, if you attempt to bring destruction down upon me, I shall visit thee with the same tenfold.
If I were assured of the former eventuality, I would cheerfully accept the latter.
The black player responds, moving his piece and punching the clock. Picking up the pace, the two move pieces as if playing speed chess. The German moves the white pieces, the other is black, and back and forth they go, feeling out the strategy of the other and jockeying for position for the endgame. They exchange moves and clock punches until there is one ominous move. The black player moves his queen into an explicit danger from his pawn.
Pawn takes queen.
The white player declares,
Looks like you have lost your most valuable piece.
the black player runs a hand through his black Grecian hair, meeting the white player's eye to eye, or at least face to face, without breaking his stare. The white player hits the clock. Clunk. There are screams as people around the world vanish without a single trace. Known heroes, some secret heroes who are then discovered used to be heroes, some known villains, the world that would oppose world domination if it wasn't them doing it. Socrates goes to ground, scattering his code to prevent being found by destroyers' assets. Something goes slightly wrong, and Socrates awakens 4 years later to learn too much time has passed. He begins frantic searches to engage the new champion's protocol, hoping against hope that too much time has not passed. He finds Runeforce, Sandcrab, and more, and begins to stitch them together into a team as he continues to try to stitch himself back together. The team, the new champions, begins to foil plans of Destroyer, Naga, and others. They begin to seep into the society and sow the seeds of hope among the people of Millennium City. The white player gathers his flowing cape, stands and begins to walk away.
Bishop takes knight. Check.
The black player calls out as he too stands and steps away from the stone table they once played upon, but his posture is far more prepared for a fight, tense.
The game is over. You should just resign.
Perhaps. If I was not aware of your true identity, Doctor, or to be more accurate, Sennacherib. And as you enter the cyberplane, Socrates greets you again. We now enter the end game. Good luck and Godspeed.
Yeah,
And
bravo.
that's it for now.
So I had one little narrative thing that I was trying to work on. Right before this happened, the hotshot has kind of hacked into the comms and hidden a little patch from Socrates, and Queen's "We Are the Champions" song begins to play out loud. The hotshot has no idea what's happening really, other than that she's gonna do something about it while she has a chance. And I think she's just trying to steady her breathing to try not to hyperventilate. And she'll probably wait for one of the as bad as it sounds, Cypher or Sand Crab, some of the ones that have been here for a while, to make the first move.
Sandcrab will activate his mental link to the people who have the nanite and give them the opportunity to connect. And he will try to reach out with his perception to see if he can perceive anything that is advantageous. Then, if we can he mentally link with Socrates in the cyberplane? Can he send images? Yes. All right. Then, as long as we're not in combat and he has the time, he would send what he sees to Socrates, which is a 360-degree view of from his angle, from where he stands.
Well, being that she's now digitized and become what she hates the most, she's going to actually check to see if she has a connection to the spirit seer, or at least some replica thereof.
Air Canada. Air Canada. That's the plane.
I'm only connected with the polite spirits. Got it. She's going to let one of the techno people take the lead. I got no action at this point.
She's immediately going to assess her surroundings. And by surroundings, she's going to assess if we're alone. So first, heartbeat, smells. Okay. And hearing. Okay. And she will assess if everyone, how the conditions of everybody. Is everybody okay, passing through, the whole 9 yards? And she'll say, this realm does not seem to be interfering with my abilities. Is that the same for the rest of you?
Really? You still need a lozenge even here?
realize, the wood tastes very well raw, right? He gives him a side look with a smirk. And everybody snort too.
Yes, but he refused to allow the robot army to come with him. Yeah. There's lots of beeps and boops in the other world. Oh, enough with this. Let's move. And he starts moving forward.
Well, since he's already been in kind of near this area before, um, he's gonna head on into that, try to reorient itself to where the black hole was. And okay, okay. Well, he'll head that way. All right, guys. When I was here a little while ago, um, there's a black hole sucking us all in towards that direction, or was pulling me in. Um, uh,
Towards the
I
absence
think
of
I
light.
think yeah, towards the absence of light. Uh, it's going to be down. Uh, I think that's where the vanishing occurs and that. So I'm heading that way.
So,
Yeah, I will follow Cypher's lead, and I agree with him. Just gonna go start heading down that way, but I'm only gonna make a half move and spend the other half phase doing the perception with my senses and ready to be blinded.
Spectrums.
Yep, and then I'll just keep walking and kind of pay attention to that. See, I'm looking for anything odd. I'm sure it's just this blur of light and color and everything for me. So
Sharp takes her hemoglobin tablet. Other than that, I think she's just sticking with Rune Force and Lysen and kind of watching what everybody else does. This is an unfamiliar place for her, so yeah.
All right. Okay. That door was open last time.
So I think my character will stop for a second and say, Sparks, does it hurt?
Does what hurt?
Go doing this. Is it gonna hurt?
Maybe.
Yeah. So through
I
clenched
mean,
teeth.
like it. It. At this point, it's going to feel like you were real. You're completely in the cyberplane at this point.
So my character whispers, Cyberplane ain't never seen no one like this mother before. I'll power up the heater.
Unbeknownst to anyone, unless they have some kind of spectacular sense, Sandcrab will target everybody and put a tracer on them. It's an invisible power effect. Fully.
Invisible
Tell me if you
magic.
need to make any targeting rolls. Because usually I do. I'll let you make them for me. All right. Well, we need to move forward, so assuming I would, if Cypher is pointing that direction, I'd want to help him. So I'll look to Cypher and say, we need to go this way.
Sparks, were these charged when you were here before? These power couplings or whatever in the corners?
Works.
Oh, you
Well,
had to ask.
Yep.
That's
Company, everyone.
all right. Yeah, oh, those destroyed. Oh, yeah. Okay. My mic had shut off again. What I was trying to say is I was about to try to enter into the control system.
The GM note, Jason.
Sparks was going to try to enter into the door. Uh, uh, yeah, with his possession. No. Enter into the control door controls. So I should be able to open it when we're ready.
All right. Well, it looks like that one in the corner is within grasp of him anyway. Is it within a 3-meter distance from him? Yeah. Looks like it's 1.5 meters from him. All right. He will shift his multi-power to kinetic legs and leg strength and reach out and grab the Destroid. Actually, you know what? Forget grabbing it. He'll just punch it and knock it into the wall behind him. Slap it with a leg. Let's see. Dice rolls. Oh, sorry, that was a misclick. No, I clicked that by accident. Sorry. Go ahead and run the next person while I figure out where the heck my my skill levels are. Not the bonuses are the skill levels to hit his combat skill levels. It's been a long time. Oh, I remember why. That's right. Okay, cool. 2 hit. Okay.
Mm.
Dang. Yep, 7 dice.
Champions, be advised. The damage you just caused within the cyberplane has had repercussions in the real world. Large parts of Metro City are currently without power.
That causes us an issue. Yeah.
Okay. Cypher's gonna wait for one of the Destroids to attack, and then I will do things to it.
Do things to it, TM.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Got an in from Max.
That will hit. What's he hitting me with? Okay. It would be enough to knock down, but I'm going to make my break fall roll. No, I'm going to make my break fall roll. I'm being positive.
Miss.
Can I activate? Okay, so when he makes his attack, I'm going to reflect the attack back at him.
Can you reflect attacks that aren't directed at you?
Any attack, yep.
If it's within reach, right?
If he's attacking Sandcrab, Sandcrab and I are standing by each other. It's
against
yeah.
DCV. Normally.
I know this isn't going
There's
to
nothing
change it.
associated with that, so I've got to go with I guess a block roll.
Yeah, it's a block roll.
I know just saying this is not going to change what just happened, but Wild Thing goes, no, don't. You'll damage it again. Proceed.
Hey. Yep. Doing whatever damage it would do, so.
Homestead has plenty of power reserves, but the entire city is now without power.
Cypher.
It'll get better.
Think strategically.
Is this the first time Runeforce sees that she stole all his equipment? I don't know if she mentioned all of that. I mean, I know she said like she uses it. I don't know if she said that she stole all of this high-tech stuff. It's kind of getting beat up, but hey, I'm alive. Thanks.
It's more like borrowing the car, right? I don't think you steal your
Borrowing
parents'
the
car.
car,
You
getting it
borrow
wrecked,
it.
you know.
Open. Yep.
You don't have to speak friend or anything?
Elvis.
Nope. Because I am the wall.
Be the wall. What? Oh no.
Damn you, Google! Damn you!
All right. While Sparks was in the wall, did he feel the damage going out? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um. So he'll turn to the others and go, "Don't mess with the walls. Take out the destroids, but don't mess with the walls." Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. Just say, yeah, what I just said.
Okay. I say, everyone, ignore them and move down the hall. You can't take any chances of damaging the real world any further.
I mean, the real world. This is the real world.
I think half move down the hallway. So I think that puts me about here. Oh, I think it'd be here. And I'm ready solely to defend.
Actually, you saying we shouldn't even fight these things? Or are they going to follow us into wherever we're going?
If they follow, we'll deal with them. If we don't have to, we shouldn't.
That didn't sound like Sparks.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was just a general statement.
Yes, apparently Sparks needs a lozenge too.
Yeah, I'm AFK at the moment.
Alright. Sniper, should we take these things out before we move on?
The idea is not to destroy the wall, so maybe if Sandcrab holds the thing, or Ghost, Ghost isn't here, right? Somebody hold them in place, and others attack just the creature. That should solve that problem.
Sandcrab will, since he was addressed and his name was brought up, will reply to that. If you guys can take care of the destroids, I'll try to heal the wall.
I can heal the wall as well.
Alright. Liliana will try and move behind the Destroid number 4 and unleash with the spectral slice.
I say,
Good for dismembering machines. So she's going to put herself over here.
No fight they will ever ignore.
Champions, take care not to trigger their internal self-destruct mechanism while taking them out. The collateral damage could be devastating.
Am I allowed to say anything at this point?
She
I'm not
growls.
there. I'm well aware of that. It's just I want to say something in terms of strategic advice, but
And the death strength, 13 for 15 body armor piercing. And 52 stun to Destroy number 4. Trying to knock him back into the middle of the room. She flew behind him. I can't move. I've tried to move the mini there several times and I failed. See?
There you
Yep.
go.
She keeps falling. There we go.
There we go.
15 armor piercing. And the F and yes. 10 body. Nine. And towards the middle of the room, yep. Armor piercing floor. Oh!
Sure. The hot
It's knocked down though, right?
Walk over slowly to this one over here, Destroyed 1. I'll walk right over to it, just as cold and as callous and as unfeeling and as focused and as ready as I'll ever be. I put my heater right up to it, and through clenched teeth, I say, "You're terminated, fucker." And I pull the trigger.
Really?
Sorry about the cussing. Just kind of a narrative thing.
Apologize for the bad pun.
Sure. That should work. Let's try that one.
Mm.
One.
He said 1. Against the wall. How far can it get knocked back?
I'd just as soon not.
Hilarious.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Already there.
I know, right?
Well, in that case, make it Toronto.
Ooh.
Toronto.
I'm sure that looked beautiful where you're at, but Japan has just lost most of its power.
So we've got one down on the ground there that is injured but not down. Is that correct? Number 4? Oops. Let's take it out then. I'll just move over towards it and hit it with what I got. Yes. I'm trying to stand over it and basically fire down.
Into the horizontal wall, correct?
Ugh,
18
jeepers
body.
creepers.
Yay, bonus points.
Max, can you englobe these things?
Yes.
That is a better idea. And can
Barks,
First,
can't you
last
take
I
one of
knew
them
they
over?
could also go desolid and walk through them. So probably not the best idea.
Cipher.
Okay, great. Okay, here's the real question. These enemies, they're primarily just like technology robotic. Right? There's nothing humanoid about them whatsoever. It affects anything? Okay, great. Cool. So, honestly, I think can I have two choices. One, I could just shoot the gun. Two, I can jump and try to grapple one and then just sear my hands into it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I
Yeah.
really want to. Okay, so which one is closest to me that I can kind of take away from the walls? Yeah, okay. So can I get Destroid number 3 and like try to grapple him to the ground away from the walls and just press my hands into his like one on his head and one on his chest? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I'll get to use this in battle. I'm excited. Honestly.
Yes. Yes.
So she just like books it into a sprint and just runs at it.
Both of them. You have to use 2. Strength versus strength roll, yeah. 50? Yep.
Yeah, I'm assuming I just took them. You know, like whenever you shake your hands when you're running and the gloves just go. It's like the and then runs up. Honestly, wait, I know this is like kind of different, but can there just be like since her suit is mechanical, can she just have like a button on her wrist that like forms and deforms gloves? Okay, great. Yeah. So it's just like she makes a flex with her fingers or something and they come off and then it's just bare hand. Because that makes
Flex the
things way
wrong way. It
easier.
like shoots spider webs out your wrist.
She's just the culmination of all the heroes. Spider-Man, Hulk.
Ow.
It's nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun with human flesh either, so let's just be happy it's metal. No. I legitimately thought you said he's holding his face, like in shock.
Crab's claws will reach forward to the wall that was damaged and start reassembling the wall's body. Yeah. So, yep.
I don't see Rune Force in here at all. Oh, okay. Okay.
He's there in spirit.
So he heals 6 body or transforms. It's severe transform broken things to unbroken things. An average roll. It was actually a good roll. Yeah, because it's 4.5 d6, so 6 body is actually good.
Well done, Sandcrab. Some power has been restored. Time is of the essence, however. Make haste.
How many destroids are still active? Okay, I will point at destroid number 2. You, turn off now.
My phone
I
just
hit a
went blank.
DCV of 16. Okay, I hit my thing. It's coming.
Gads.
That's a pretty low roll for 26 dice, I think, isn't it?
A little bit.
83. Deactivation. He touched me. Oh.
Is there any way she could have like ripped open to its wires and like got into those? Mm. Yeah. She just keeps placing her hands all over.
Realized it. How much worse do you want to make it?
Yep.
I
You're gonna
understand
play
if
patty cake with it.
Heck
if
yeah.
it's sticky, she doesn't need to keep touching it. It should, right? No, but my point is she touches it once and it starts to decay. She doesn't need to keep touching it in order for it to keep decaying,
It's
correct?
No,
more
but
of
she can speed up the process.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
I
gotcha.
did bring enough Lysol wipes for this.
Yeah.
Sparks will go back into him and shut him off.
That seems like a good choice.
Correct.
And Sandcrab would work on healing the rest of the walls that were damaged. Well, he said it's make haste, right? But if Sandcrab's the last person through the portal, that's fine. Everybody else can head that direction. Well, I'll run. And I'll run along the ceiling. Thank you.
There is
Leaves
no
more
smoke.
room in the hallway for everybody else.
My connection is lagging bad. My mouse keeps locking.
That's Sandcrab.
Yep, that's sand crab.
I pushed THS into it. No.
We have more energy portals in here. Cypher, can you
Cypher,
deactivate
shut them
those?
down.
Same thing. Should be
Everybody at the
easier.
same.
Yeah.
Sandcrab, check your private message.
Yep. Definitely try to jump in and shut him down again. Yeah.
Yay!
That crab will use his
That's right,
overlay on his scanners to find a particular spot, and then he'll reel back and do a haymaker on it.
You can roll my perception. Don't forget to add a plus.
Okay.
But you're punching a black hole?
I'm punching a particular spot.
I doubt it.
Well, it's a spot that Socrates told him to attack.
On the black hole?
Outside of the black hole.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
coordinate
On the wall.
on the wall. Wherever the
Okay.
coordinate is.
Okay.
He says, "Everyone duck," and punches it as hard as he can, doing what is that? 91 stun, 24 body.
You gotta love when they say duck just as they hit something.
Goose!
I leap to try and grab sand crab.
Wild thing is gone too.
Whee!
He doesn't go with him.
Oh, no. Oh, can't leave him on there, wherever he went to by himself. Or, in other words, damn him. And I'll leap after him.
Did he do damage to the
Okay.
wall?
Can't get through. What did he do?
Why did he do it?
Another good question.
I often ask that question of sand crab. But Socrates, the black hole here, do you know what its purpose is?
The white player stands still at the statue, finally reaching up and removing the crowned helmet, so well known and feared around the world. Deep, curly black locks fall down around the shoulders of the man. The cape fades away, leaving a fine, tailored black suit. The man turns back to the black player, dropping the helmet, and it vanishes before it hits the ground. The man's face is a rich olive tone, accentuated by a dark brow and stylish mustache and beard. As he speaks, there is no longer a German accent. Instead, a confident Persian accent comes through.
Socrates, it matters not whether you know my secret. There is nothing that you can do about it. I have won. You have lost. Accept it.
The black player repeats his move as they continue the game on the board, now only in their minds. Bishop takes knight. Check, he says. The new champions arrive at Millennium City University and take on Algorithm. They take on Boomslang, an ogre in a downtown warehouse area. They fight in a tower against Naga agents. Destroids appear. Destroids are destroyed. Sennacherib moves king to rook 2. Socrates. Rook to king's rook 3. Check. Sennacherib looks the board over in his mind and confirms that whatever Socrates is up to does not threaten him. His most precious assets are safe. Bishop to rook 3, which directly blocks Socrates' rook. Even with power like yours, to vanish your enemies, you must have your powers sourced or consolidated somewhere, says Socrates. Bishop takes bishop. Sennacherib, seeing he might be mated in the next move or two, he decides to go on the offensive. Rook to bishop 4. The firewall begins to be attacked. Socrates and all the others fight hard to keep away this other unknown attacker. So he moves his rook into the open, allowing it to potentially block Socrates' rook again if needed, and allowing it to take the other pieces. Socrates, in order to get to your deepest secrets, he says, I would need to endure a tremendous amount of pain, making additional sacrifices. But of course, your secrets would have the highest levels of secure encryption known to exist. So how do I get through? Rook takes rook, one of Sennacherib's few remaining powerful pieces. Sennacherib, beginning a desperate flurry of blows and moves. He won't let Socrates get away with taking his rook, so he replies in kind. Pawn takes rook. Socrates looks the board over, sends a message very subtly to Sandcrab, giving him exact coordinates where to attack. Bishop to bishop 7. Sennacherib moves in for the kill. Queen to knight 3. Check. Socrates. A simple escape. King to rook 1. But now the king is isolated. An easy checkmate. Just one move away. Queen takes knight pawn, says Sennacherib. Socrates very vulnerable now as king trapped where he has no escape. One move of Sennacherib's queen and the game is truly over. Socrates seems all alone against Sennacherib. He alone does not appear to have what it takes to beat him. So, Socrates then points out how the power has just gone out in several strategic locations. Sennacherib suddenly panics, realizing what has happened. Socrates then reveals he's already infiltrated his inner sanctum, and the heroes are working to disable the vanishing device. Socrates ends the game with a final move. Bishop to bishop's 8. Discover check. And incidentally, he grabs the 2 bishops from the board and with lightning speed connects one of each to Sennacherib's temples, mate. Sennacherib suddenly arcs with the power between the two bishops and vanishes.
Champions, champions, Sennacherib is no more. Well done, well done. I'm so proud of you. Division Earth has been saved. That is, unless you insist on continuing to level 37.
Sucked in? We're all sucked into the black hole?
Yeah, he would have been the rook waiting for the discover check as we move the bishop out of the way. Yep.
Wait.
Roger that.
Well, A long time ago, perhaps not quite so long ago, there was a young lady named Hope who was a superpowered hero and adventuring with the group. And she unfortunately made a tragic mistake and could not come to terms with it. And ultimately, in her sorrow, she committed suicide by flying into the sun. That was not the end, however, because the sun, there's a divinity within the sun that is, it takes, it's the life giver to the earth, but it lacks agency on the earth. And this was a golden opportunity for it to intercede a little bit. And it took the power and potential of hope, the sacrifice of hope, and created an alien entity, very much a cosmic entity, that came to be known as Ghost. Ghost was the hero that adventured with the group for most of its time. But when Ghost went through the hollow, Ghost collided with Hope. Hope was in the hollow, and the two became one. And as Hope was actually the original, uh, uh, there is now hope, and a ghost of Ghost lives within her. And that's what you'll meet in the hollow. Hope is returned.
Oh, instead of wearing that high tech and magical armor that she was wearing before, she now appears to be wearing the simple martial arts uniform of that of a Yang Tao monk. Um, and her helmet is gone, so you get to see her full face. And her eyes seem to have been permanently changed to that of green, and her hair permanently that of red. And of course she has dragon symbols over her uniform, and she definitely radiates key power, as or chi, I should say, the Chinese versus the Japanese.
Yes.
Um, Hello? Lose somebody?
No.
Oh, wait.
Oh, just lost Hope's character sheet. I do.
I can play one if you like, or two, or
Yeah, sure, I'll join.
chance to beat up on the heroes. Revenge for Yin Wu.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll
It's
take
okay.
one.
You
I'll
can
take
put
one if
one.
there's one left. I'm sorry, I was muted. Is there one
We
left?
go for that one first.
Oh, I can't do that, obviously.
Aren't you, Tara? Aren't you on the table as yellow?
I'm on here. Yeah, I'm here, but I can't. I can't get my character up, so he's. Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, that sucks.
Hey, Dad. Due to
Or
I
yeah.
have school tomorrow and things like that. Mhm. Great, thank you.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye.
Al.
Sure.
Bye. Bye. Take care. Stay safe.
Good night.
Oh, is the table dark for other people?
Yeah, it's still dark.
Okay.
Nope.
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 You're changing it. It's not affecting the scene at all.
No, it's not.
It's so dark that up till this point, I didn't even see the Destroids.
I don't see him at all. I don't see
I see a
anything.
couple of like a single point of light on their head.
No,
No, they're still, they are absolutely black except for like a couple of tiny little
Dots.
highlighted points.
The only light are little boxes behind Rampage here. Sandcrab.
It's at no effect.
I just posted what I can see under chat, player chat.
Yep, that's exactly what I see.
if I zoom way in, I can see their eyes and their some
Yeah.
point. Oh,
Oh,
There
yeah,
we
hey,
there you
go.
now we
go.
can see.
Oh, yeah.
Bright light.
Almost blinded me.
Yeah, now we can see. Yeah,
Huge improvement.
Number 5. Number 5. There. Oh, that's too light.
That's really good light right there.
yeah. The dawn. Go ahead.
That's bright. That's really bright.
Nothing's happening.
That's fine.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, where should I put my mini? Okay.
Very hurt.
Well, I think from what we last described, I was kind of, I think Hope was sort of leading the charge, and I was sort of hiding in the tree. I was kind of crouching and approaching from the trees. So I'll put myself in the foliage over there. Okay, well, very well then. I will. Let's see.
Well, the way we'd set things up in chat was that uh, Ghost was going to fly in and sort of like distract, so their attention would be on her, so that Dragon Lady would be able to come in under stealth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll just have a half move as Dragon Lady, and she'll continue to approach in stealthily. So if you want me to make a stealth roll as my action, I'll be happy to do that. Okay, succeeded by 3. All right.
Well,
I suppose as I'm closing on in, I will call forth the dragon's power form to so I'll spend the endurance.
I put her off to the left. You said they were looking to the left, so I just dropped her at the edge of the field on the left.
Yeah, I know that one. I can think of that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So, what are the destroids here to do? Excellent. Okay.
I have
So,
5, by the way. No, I'll hold. No.
Yeah, Destroid 3 and 4 will take actions.
sure. I was going to have him move, but I can't unlock him. Hey.
You can leave 3 and 4 locked.
I can.
Huh. Are they that much bigger than the humans? Okay. So Destroid number 1 will move forward and activate his damage shield and then hit this fellow here. Come on. How come we're not pinging? There we go. ECV 6. I'm using my blast. Yep. I did. There's normal damage, yep. Knockback is knocked to the ground. Ping. The expensive machine that goes ping. Okay, so that's number 1 done. Number 2 will also fly forward. You betcha.
Looks like on most of them.
Well, I see
Ooh,
no.
DCV 3 might miss.
I do not see a problem with that.
Boom!
You could dodge.
I guess I did. Oh, isn't that funny? I have 2 Destroids, but I have Destroid 2 as the number 1 and Destroid 1 as number 2. Exactly.
I thought I was 7. Oh. Well, so much for my taking a phase off there. Yeah, I'll move forward to where the other ones are. That's probably a little far. And I'll blow away this human right here. Sure. What I get? I rolled a 7. All right. Oh, that's not good. Oh, is there a difference?
Type 1 blast, yeah.
Oh. I didn't know I was doing different. Okay, there you go.
Oh, ow.
That poor man. That poor innocent man.
Yes. This one. Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. 8's gonna move up. Okay, I just made 7.
All right. Death droid number 4 will fly up into the air, turn and see the super looking girl there, and do his suppression fire attack at her.
That's a clear no.
Asteroid number 3 will move into the foray over here, and it's a full move, so he'll do a strafe. Oh, one of the normals, whoever's closest to him. Oh, whatever's supposed to be attached to it. I'm sorry, I didn't know. What's supposed to be attached to the strafe? Make a ranged attack. So, all right, the killing attack will be fine then. It was a terrible roll.
Yeah. By the power of soul, he'll move forward and. Well, you said that's gone, but that's how he would mentally move that way because that's what he was normally doing. And we'll try to attack Destroid 2. And he will use his Cuttings of Soul. His 46 ranged killing attack with a hit of 10 or less. 12 body, 24 stun. Probably not.
These characters aren't quite as powerful as the other champions.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just straight up killing. Uh, 5. Wow, 10 meters, but.
Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot. 10, so 2.
Okay. Hope's going to be doing a multi attack primarily to make herself an easier target for these things. Maybe they'll focus on her. She's going for Destroid 8 and 5, who are in a nice little line for her. First attempt to hit. This is maximum velocity charge, by the way. DMCV 11 or DCV.
Can Destroid 5 react? Yep. Yep.
You could block.
Yeah. Just move.
I think you could block as a defensive action.
Dodge.
Block.
Does simply moving count as a defense against a charge?
She's diving for cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have to dice off, and dex rolls would have to be made, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dex off since they're both doing things.
Okay. Gotta be kidding. With that dex? Wow.
Okay, so charge damage. The first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna abort to.
Can't now. I mean, she's basically taken her action in this phase. You can't abort now.
Huh?
You've taken your action. You declared your action in this segment to move, but you just diced it off with hope. So your action is happening. You can't abort now.
That. Yeah, true.
So first one gets hit for 26 body. Waiting for the second roll. Second one gets hit for 25 body. No, this is a martial charge. Doesn't take damage. And host is locked. So hope is locked. I can't move her. Should wind up on the other side of the map.
Oh, well, that would.
8 and 5.
Oh, I would think the OCV would have been reduced, but I don't think it really matters that much. Oh, I did. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Oh, sorry, I.
Game's over, man. Game's over.
At least you got a dual roll.
Okay.
You done there?
Yep.
Okay. The light is coming on, and I am moving up to this guy's face. So now there's a light around me in like an 8-meter radius. And the guy in front of me, Destroid 1, and unfortunately the archer guy next to him are both in a darkness field.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
And I'm hitting Destroid. Whoa. Oh, that's what that was. I was like, what the heck did I just do?
You just did a Stellar Sentinel.
Yeah, that's the darkness field. And then there's a light field around that for another 5 meters outside that. So no problem. Yeah. 3 meters of darkness, 8 meters of change environment. So
is that darkness to everything, or
sight, all sight? Does he have anything? I need to know if his DC. Well, you can figure out if his DCB is going to be cut in half. But... Well, I just blinded the site group, so.
Auditory. An HARRP in
Any of those
Cincinnati.
targeting? I hit a DCB of 8.
Isn't? Oh, I'm sure DCV of 8 would still hit, even if I had my full. So, I think that sonar would be targeting, no? Or does it have to say targeting? Okay.
So that's going to be. Hold on. I have to make a custom roll for this, for the damage.
You are permitted to miss, citizen.
He is huge. He's 7 feet tall. He's just tall and lanky. Holy. No way.
Hey.
I'm screenshotting that.
Nice, good. That was a good-
27 body?
On 19 dice.
Wow.
No kidding. Obliterated. I've got a PD of 10. So I would still take 17, and my body is 15. So, yep. The head rolls away going, does not compute, does not compute, does not compute.
Head comes flying out of the bright light.
All right.
So how?
Okay, Dragon Lady is going to. Let's see. 6 is destroyed. 4 is up in the air. And let's see. And all right. Okay. Well. All right. I'm just going to do. Since everyone seems to be doing it, I'll do a thunder kick onto.
How many humans can you hit with that?
Well, I'm just. Yeah, not there. What's this one here? Stupid darkness field keeps showing up. 7, yes.
That's a cool mini for Ozar.
Thank you.
Let's see. Oh yeah, right. Let's see. Which one is it? It's. Let's see. So the units for that line should be grid, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm showing 25. Am I correct? All right. So, yeah. Yeah. Well. Thank you. All right.
Flying kick.
Let's see. Thunder kick. All right. Let's see. So I'm moving 25. So it goes into players. That's a -2. And I get +2 from a Dragon's Power flowing to me. And I'll put my 2 skill levels in OCV. Okay, so I guess it just did. Instead of. It just rolled the damage rather than a 2-hit. Oh, let's see. Maybe if I switch to 2 hits, that will do it.
Any skill levels you might
Right.
have in.
Right. Yeah, no, that's silly me. Yep. There we go. This should do it. Does need to be ranged. CV modifier 2. Let's
Nice.
see if this works. Okay. Well, that was a bit of an overkill. Yeah, 17. DC of 17. All right.
It is next upgrade too. Jeez.
Okay. So. All right. Looks like I moved 25. So divided by 6, that's an extra 4. And so then I get 7. So that's 11. Then plus 8 from my base is 19. I know that does exceed damage, but I know move throughs all do kill my DCV. So. All right, cool. Let's see what I get. Okay, 57 stun and 14 body. Yep, but I got ones. Yep, I got like 5 ones. Yep. Yep.
They've got 10 defense. So it had taken 4 body.
All right, and now the goal is just to knock him back. All right, so that is 9 from 14. So he goes back 5. Like that's only 5d6, so I doubt that's not going to do anything to him. Yep. All right. Well, that just keeps me from taking that stun. So yeah, I don't take any stun from my impact.
Spoken like a true hero.
Who?
We can't hear Terra.
Oh, Tara.
Huh? I'm sorry. I thought I just got. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hope's down to 6.
Isn't Hope the mass murderer that left the group early on?
Oh,
Oh,
Just wanna just wanna make sure.
I don't know if mass murderer. I mean, that was only a couple people.
Where is she? Who am I looking at? Not number 5. Who am I looking at? They all have the same. They all have the same powers, right? Yeah, so it doesn't make a difference. And yes, uh, turning on shield. Oh, wait a minute, it's against energy. She don't do energy.
no,
She
no,
just
no. No. The energy shield is a damage shield. So yes, you want to turn that on.
Okay. Okay, good. Then I turn that on. And then I send a. Yeah, gonna use this. This is going to be type. Is that 2 or 3?
Might
Type
want to
2.
make a half move towards her to cut down on range modifiers.
Ah, sounds like a good idea. I figure about here. Is that good?
Yep.
Eat.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Good. Hopefully I actually hit. What did I do? I hit the wrong thing.
She's D6 right now.
You hit. Not that it's going to help, but
Okay. So, where's the damage roll on this thing?
there's a thing. Are you using your blast? Use your type 1 blast
No, I'm using the type 2.
under
We're
dice
killing it.
rolls.
Ah, there it is. Roll now, please. Thank you.
Can't be right. Oh no,
Oh,
no.
that was it to hit? I'm sorry. I thought I clicked damage.
Right below it, type 1 blast.
Okay, dice. Okay, I'm in dice rolls, right? Not type 2? Okay. That's what I clicked before, and all I got was the hit. Oh, this time it, okay, weird. Oh, no, never mind. Forget I said that. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't even bother you, does it?
Nope. Well, actually, I'm going for destroy number 4 for a maximum combat velocity charge. It's sure. Didn't even feel it.
I think Destroyed 6 feels insulted. Okay.
So
If it could feel.
Yeah, Destroid number 4 probably won't see this coming, but if he does, he's going to abort to dodge.
okay. Does he have a martial dodge?
No,
Okay. Well, I hit an ECD of 11.
I don't think he saw it coming anyway.
Okay.
You do have skill levels that you can put into your dodge, though.
Oh. Thanks for skill levels?
Okay.
Oh, the knockback will. But he's in the air. He's going to go flying. Key point.
Technically, I did 18 points worth of knockback. I'll just leave him where he is.
Well, so he's got 3 points of body left.
I feel sad for them.
Hey, the self-destruct, how does that work?
Sure.
How does the self-destruct work? Oh, cool.
It doesn't do any damage to anybody else because it's self only.
Yeah, I'll show you how it works in a minute.
It doesn't do any damage to anybody. I would hope not. Making self-destruct go.
I'll activate my Type 2 blast, and I'll take a shot at Dragon Lady there.
Whose feet is
Just
sticking up out of the
getting
ground?
up, take the whole phase.
Under my
I'll stand back up, and I'll take a shot at the Dragon Lady.
All right, I will abort my 4 to abort to a dodge. Yeah, but I mean, I'm a martial artist, and it should say that I'm speed 7, but yeah, I'll just do it anyway, just because it's cool. So
It
DCV
wasn't a bad roll.
15.
And takes out these Destroyed 3.
Hey! Oh, goody. Well, since I was insulted by Hope, but hey, that's life. I think I'm right about here. How is it a blast radius on this? For the self destroying? Oh, so it only affects one person? Okay. Well, there you go.
It is mainly a self-destruct. It's meant to destroy the destroyed so it isn't captured.
Okay,
Oh,
Destroids, pay attention. Type 1 blast is also an area of effect.
Oh.
Type 2 blast is also a 1 meter area of effect. They're both area of effect attacks.
Pretty hard to miss.
Oh, hey.
Looks like some destroys are owed some hits. Plink, plink, plink.
Well then, that case, let's see if I gotta get close enough. I guess
Take out more humans.
Target Stellar Sentinel. So how far is a meter out from him? Okay. Hi, my name is Six. What's yours? I can't stand. I think I've drank too much. There you go. Oh, the type. So you said the type 1 is a area.
They're both.
They're both
They're
areas.
both.
Okay.
But the type 1 is more likely to do damage.
One it is.
And you're still at -2 to hit.
Okay, -2 because.
Because you're in my change environment, which adds -2 range mod to hits, and you're using a ranged attack.
Oh.
But you're still hitting. You're
it's
still hitting a
-2 with
DCV 3.
Yeah,
so
it's still
instead you have to hit a
DCV 3.
DCV 5.
Not exactly difficult, but it is a minus.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to put the -2 into the box.
No, you put the -2 into the to hit basically.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
And you can offset that with any skill levels you might have as well.
I didn't see any skill levels listed on this. No, I looked. There wasn't any. Are there? Okay, no skill level. So we're just gonna roll.
DCV of 8. You hit.
Okay. Here's the homage.
Ooh, 28 and 8. Ooh.
Roll your knockback.
And that's 2 dice, right? Well,
Yep.
I gotta go. Gotta find my dice thingy. Oh, ignore that. Dice. That off? No. That off.
No knockback.
Oh, how many people take that damage? It just. Oh, so it was an area. Oh well.
It is. It's just a 1 hex area of effect. So you roll it versus DCV3 versus my DCV instead of my
Ah,
DCV.
Makes it easier to hit, generally speaking.
gotcha. I hope 6 did some damage.
No,
Make
actually.
make his ego feel better after being bypassed by the mass murderer. No damage, huh?
No damage.
Really, really destroying his self confidence.
Droid number 2. Well. There's an Ozar there. Zap the Ozar.
Those are.
I hit a DCV of 9. Does
How is
DCV 9 hit Ozar?
he
Jerry?
doing that?
Yes. I keep putting my mic up.
Does DCV 7 hit? Because you're in my area.
Oh, 7 would miss.
No, you said it hit. It hit.
So, well, a 7 would miss.
Yeah,
Oh shit! Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
It's
that'll hit.
I
Both
hit a
of them.
DCV of 3, so I hit him. I hit him. I even got a -2. I still hit you. I
Yep.
hit you. 35 and 10.
Okay, and I take nobody.
And there's 7 meters of knockback. Excellent. Take them out too.
I can never understand how knockback works.
It's magic.
Right.
Okay,
Pretty much.
and because
I
that
knew
was an
it.
energy attack, I finally get to use one of my absorptions.
It only took the end game to do it.
Yeah. Hey, he's not been blinded or stunned or held.
Oh, wait a second. We should bring Cronus in so you won't get any attack. Exactly. Throw an entangle.
He's got to meet up with the other group. Max has an entangle.
PD. Oh, okay.
Destroid 4 with his shoulder half torn off and his head barely hanging on by a couple of bolts, sparking electricity. Sputter, sputter, sputter flies up behind Hope and self-destructs.
Boomies.
Well, I don't need to grab her, but just fly up until he butts up against her.
Yep.
Well, if he had his,
There is so much wrong with everything you've said so far.
All right. Well, Hope will do a flying dodge.
Oh God.
Hope is going to abort.
Yeah, Hope's aborting to a flying dodge. She's now clean across the map. And if it's going to self-destruct, it's like that's fine. It can do that.
And she can't abort again.
Unbeknownst to the players, just before the self-destruct, one small signal was sent to Destroid number 3, whose eyes turn red. It turns and faces Hope, flying towards her to make the second attempt at self-destruct.
Okay, well, Hope has managed to take out 2 Destroids with 1 move. Not bad.
With a defensive move at that.
Yeah, seriously, huh?
Right? I'm saying. I'm saying. No,
Mm.
no. You didn't. You
No,
don't need to double
no,
down on this.
no.
What is that? Oh,
Yeah, it is. Oh.
there you go.
Whoa! Even took out the.
Yes, it did.
It's hot.
Hmm.
I I would guess he takes 8 body
Nope,
and a bunch of stun.
nope. Hope is slightly rebuilt. She's got 39 resistant defense rate.
Oh.
Oh well, that's why we're not playing this system. I mean, this season anymore.
She is, however, stunned. She that exceeded her con by 2 points. What was there
At
not?
least we have a first.
Yeah.
You want three dice rolls? Whoops, that was a mistake. Hold on. Something. This is marked for killing attack.
I just used the 12 body. Same
There
thing.
you
You
go.
would have rolled 3 dice anyway. So
Yeah, it was 3.5 dice.
no,
Or
it
the
wasn't.
second
It
one
was 3 dice with a half dice for the
Oh
single
yes, yes,
player.
yeah. You're right. So use the first roll.
Okay. 38 body. It comes to 26. She's got 10 inches of knockback resistance, so it's 16. So she's moved 16 X's or squares. Okay.
Okay. Ozar is going to. Actually, no. He's going to stay back where he was, and he's going to reach out with his strength of soul. Yes, which is 26 TK. Find manipulation and start trying to take the destroyed apart, or at least hold. Actually, no. Spin him and turn him around so he can't hit or attack anybody, and just kind of hold him in that until I can get closer and do something else. 2. Hopefully a 7 will hit. Well, yeah, because it's still in the darkness field. Or
I'm
the lightness
sorry.
field, or
I was
whatever.
muted all this time. Yes, that's a hit.
Actually, he's in the darkness field as well, so he's gonna or the light field, so he's gonna have a -2 to hit him. It affects everybody.
Yeah, but I've dealt with your light. Shush! Don't help them.
Wow, we're destroids. We need all the help we can get.
Yep.
Mwahaha! I am invincible.
All right. I'm just gonna take a shot at the guy standing in front of me, number 6 there. No, not with that wonderful
Oops.
table.
We thank
Apparently,
you.
it affects you too.
Apparently, even with my personal immunity, it affects me.
All right. You boarded her forward to dodge.
Yes, I will AOE this time against her hex. Oh, that's okay. That's a type 2 blast.
John
Sure, here we go again. Yeah, it was backwards of what it needed to be, wasn't it? Oh well, I didn't kill Dragon Lady. I'm the poor Destroid.
Huh? Oh well, no. He shrugged off my shot, so I gotta say
Bowman self-destruct.
that's wrong. No, I'm not gonna self-destruct. Hmm. I'm only gonna take him out though, right? If I mean, I'm only gonna hurt him
And yourself.
and myself. Yeah. Nah, I don't want to do that. I know I should be going do my laundry. Um. What's what's the flying sitch? If somebody decided what's the flying lady sitch? If somebody decided to blow up in her face while she's upside down. No, she ignored me and hurt my feelings. I would keep an eye out where she's at. Yeah. Okay. I say to
I'd much rather you
I
attack her than any of the other humans.
yeah. I say to Sentinel, I'll be back.
Can be Beethoven.
I don't know what she just said, but okay.
I'll be back.
He's not from around here.
Yeah. Well, hey. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to get. Don't want to get up in her grill, upside down or otherwise. Just close enough to shoot her. I'll take the minuses. Hope. So yeah, I'm gonna fly up, take aim, and shoot.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think
so
Hope's defenses drop just because she's stunned. I think she's still just as tough stunned or not. It's gonna bounce.
oh
A lot easier to hit.
yeah, I would think. Are you saying I won't do any damage? Are you saying that?
It depends what you shoot her with. If you shoot it with a killing attack, it'll probably bounce.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on killing with the shooting attack. So what's our minuses on hitting her? -3.
But it's an area effect attack, so you've only got to hit a DCV of 3.
And I miss.
Well, I'm sorry.
No wonder she ignores me. I suck.
Yeah, these were the rejects.
I hit a DCV of 10. That's that's an 8, but it's still an area effect. So, Ozar, 30 and 9.
Nope.
I'll continue knocking you back into more people.
No, I'm still good. Where'd he go?
These are not the destroids you're looking for.
I think I was trying to zoom in and take a picture of a destroid, and I zapped it real good, and it disappeared.
Yeah, because it was right there in front of me.
Yeah, it was right there. Sorry.
Oh, where did it? Did you delete it?
I don't know. I don't think I have power to do anything, but I was trying to do the screenshot thing. I put the square around or box or whatever, and it just took off.
Come on, Ozar, take me down. Take me down.
Wish I had 3. I wish I had an area effect attack.
So we get to meet. So we get to meet the Ewoks. Is that what you're saying?
All right, thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank
See you
you.
Saturday.
Yeah. Thank you, Silkide.
Ozar actually had a chance to work do something in combat. Yay!
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, I know.